Servers are down, which means it's time for a Vault Day update. Let's open up on all the new changes and what you can expect this week. To start, we've got a lot of updates with balancing. Death Knights are getting some good news with both Blood and Frost receiving huge damage buffs. Druids are also seeing some changes with Guardian receiving survivability buffs, but Restoration receiving a 3% nerf for all healing across the board. Similarly, Preservation Evoker is getting a 5% nerf for all healing. Hunters will see a 5% damage buff to all pet abilities, while Mistweaver Monks are actually getting some fun buffs, 3% across the board for all healing, but also multiple healing buffs on top of that, and damage buffs as well. I might have to roll myself another monk just to try it out. Prot Pallies are getting some strong damage buffs as well, just like the Blood DKs, while Holy Priest receives a 3% healing increase across the board. Resto Shaman receiving 10% buffs to many of their healing abilities, and Warlocks are seeing some good single target DPS buffs, but are being given note that they might see more changes happening in the future. Raiders, not a lot of changes, but Sennarth's suffocating webs will now reliably hit the intended number of targets. For our crafters, alchemists have had their potion cauldron size greatly increased. I'm sure you'll love that one. We're also seeing some major updates for the community feast, which includes scaling to more tasks whenever there's a larger number of players participating, as well as the community feast will now be occurring every 1.5 hours, as opposed to the 3.5 hour timer they were working on before. Speaking of world quests, both gold and the eye level of gear rewards will be increased when servers come back up. Let's talk dungeons. There's a lot going on. This week is the Dragonflight Dungeon event, which is a great opportunity to gear alts. All Dragonflight dungeons will now drop an extra piece of gear. Note though that this does not include Mythic Plus difficulty, but regular Mythics are included. Completing 4 Mythic dungeons this week, this one including M+, will grant you a 402 to 411 piece of gear. That is a wonderful reward. You definitely don't want to miss out on that one. Affixes this week for keys are Fortified, Bursting, Explosives, and Thundering. So healers, be ready for a lot of group-wide damage during trash packs, especially if those explosives are ignored. Although I will be pinning a comment below with a macro that I personally like to use whenever I'm dealing with explosives. It makes it a lot of fun, almost like a game of whack-a-mole. Lastly, the Love is in the Air event has begun, and we have good news this year. Blizzard has increased the drop chance of the X45 Heartbreaker for the first character you run through the event every day. And that is everything that's in my vault, so hopefully servers are back up and you can go see what you've got in your vault.